What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully it's not the first time you're watching my videos, but just in case it is, I am a fourth year medical student and biomedical science graduate studying King's College London. And welcome to my humble kitchen. One place you guys have probably never been to before is my kitchen. And the reason why we're here today is to show you guys my whole entire process of making my meals productively and all the steps that I take to meal prep my meals in university and make literally the whole entire week's worth of food in one sitting. I'm not going to be focusing on like the recipes I use. I will link the recipe that I'm making down below if you want to check that out. But what I'll be mainly focusing on is, first of all, why I meal prep, and secondly, the entire kind of step process that I take to prepare all of my meals in one sitting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first question really to answer is, why do I meal prep? Like, why do I put in all the effort to sit down in one sitting and make all of my meals for the entire week? And the reason for that, first and foremost for me, is that it increases my efficiency throughout the week. I'm able to actually work a lot more and do other things like make YouTube videos for you guys and do other things on the side because I save so much time from having to prepare different meals every single day. So the first thing is that it saves so much time. The second reason is that it's actually cheaper, and obviously I'm a university, and if you're watching this you probably are as well, but if you're a university and on a tight budget like me, making all of your meals in bulk is actually a lot cheaper than making them day by day, meal by meal. My meals actually will come up to around £1.25 to £1.50 per meal, which is insane. It's so cheap. So secondly, it saves a lot of money. Thirdly, it actually makes me a lot more healthier. The fact that I have a very nice meal already prepped in the fridge for me or the freezer means that I'm less likely to get takeaways on the way home. The points in time where I'm super tired and I kind of just want to have a quick fix, a very quick meal, rather than going on my phone and going to Deliveroo or Just Eat and ordering some takeaway, I'm way more likely to just go to the fridge because it's way easier to go to the fridge and there's a lot less friction in getting a meal in my stomach compared to actually waiting for Deliveroo or waiting for a takeaway. So the final point is that it makes me a lot more healthy. I'm able to control what goes into my stomach and have a bank of very healthy and well-made foods that I enjoy straight away in my fridge. So those are reasons why I personally choose to meal prep throughout the whole entire week on one single day. Let's go on to actually how I actually meal prep. The first thing that I recommend you guys do if you want to start meal prepping is to order all of your food online. Fair enough, if you enjoy going to the shop and actually walking around and buying your groceries, that's fair enough, continue doing that. But I personally don't really like and enjoy going to the shops, driving to shops, buying all of my groceries and coming back home. That for me just takes too much time. I don't really enjoy it, so I much prefer sitting on my laptop at home in my warm house on my desktop, choosing what I want and having that delivered to my doorstep. So if you live in the UK, the majority of the shops that we have here all offer online delivery. The main one that I choose is Iceland. If you order over £35, the delivery is actually free. So Iceland do deliveries, Tesco's, Waitrose, all of the big brands do deliveries. So the first thing I'd recommend is to do all of your shopping online and have it delivered for you straight away. The second thing is when you're actually going to shops and buying your things, what I really recommend you guys do is to buy things that are already chopped up. So in the recipe I'll be making today, I'll be making a Thai red curry, which involves a lot of chopped up meat and also vegetables as well. So just to show you guys, all of my carrots are frozen and already chopped up. As well as that, all the mixed peppers are chopped up, the garlic is chopped up, and also the chicken is chopped up. So pretty much anything that I want to make in my meal will be chopped up, which saves a lot of time. It can honestly take me around half an hour sometimes, sat in the kitchen chopping up everything. So having it pre-chopped up saves you a huge amount of time. The next thing I'd say that I really recommend you guys doing when you meal prep is to invest in two things. The first being a rice cooker, the second being a slow cooker, which I have here. Honestly, this is not something you have to do, but I really do believe if you're going to be meal prepping your meals, it makes so much more sense to invest in something like a slow cooker and a rice cooker that will save you so much time and will just make it so much easier to meal prep. The reason why I think a slow cooker is really good is, first off, you're able to make meals in bulk. The one I have over here is a 5-litre slow cooker, so I'm able to make around 10 to 15 meals in one sitting through this one cooker. Secondly, it saves me so much time. A slow cooker actually cooks for you very slowly, so I can put all of my ingredients together, literally just throw it into this slow cooker, and 2 hours later, after going to the gym or working out or studying, I'll come back to the kitchen and all of my food will be nice and ready for me, and it'll actually keep it warm for me until I'm ready to eat it. The third reason why a slow cooker is really, really good is because it saves you from having to do loads of washing up. All the things you want to have in your curry or whatever you're making will be thrown into this, and all you have to do is wash up a single dish when you're done, which saves so much time. And it's pretty much the same thing for a rice cooker as well. So I honestly do suggest you guys invest into a slow cooker or a rice cooker in order to speed up the whole process and make it a lot easier when you're meal prepping. All right, so now I'm actually going to go ahead and cook. The first thing I do is to turn on my slow cooker to make sure that it actually starts to heat up. It can take a bit of a while sometimes to heat up. Once that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and throw everything that will be in the recipe for this Thai red curry into the slow cooker. As I said, it's really, really easy to cook with a slow cooker because literally all I have to do is throw everything inside and it'll cook it for me perfectly. So everything that I'm going to be adding in the slow cooker will be down in the link in the description down below. So feel free to copy this recipe if you want to, or skip to the next part, which will be in a second. Alright, so what you guys just saw me do probably took me around 5 minutes. I literally added everything I wanted, all of the ingredients into that one pot, and that is pretty much it. Again, if you don't have a slow cooker, don't worry about that. Just skip to the next step and use your own pan to cook as you normally would. But if you do have a slow cooker, I threw everything on there for 5 minutes and that is the meal prep pretty much done. I want to head now to my room, do some studying, do some work, and come back in around 2.5 to 3 hours when the slow cooker will be done to see whether the food is actually done, and then move on to the next step of meal prep, which will be putting everything in containers and freezing it as well. And also, not to mention, I also put the rice onto a rice cooker. I probably added enough rice to feed a whole Asian family. That's all done now. So I'm going to leave the rice cooker on with a slow cooker, and then hopefully all my food should be done and ready to be put away. So I'll see you guys on the next part. I also want to add, guys, that one of the ways I learn more about how to cook different types of meals is through Skillshare, who are also kindly sponsoring the video. Skillshare is an online platform and learning community for creative people who want to learn new skills. They have thousands of different classes on there, from cinematography, videography, cooking, painting, literally any sort of skill you want to learn, you name it, it's on there, and you can find a class that suits you particularly. I've actually been using Skillshare for the last couple of months, and I've really improved my skills on studying, using flashcards, cooking, and also cinematography as well. Rather than watching YouTube all day in my free time like I normally do, I've actually invested a ton of time recently into improving my cooking skills and also other skills as well. One class I actually really liked in regards to cooking was a class called Think Like a Chef, a beginner's guide to cooking with confidence, which I honestly really liked for a number of reasons. One of the reasons was that it really takes you through the basics of cooking, how to improve your cooking skills, and how to make really healthy and enjoyable meals that you can make at home as well. I know my channel is more about medicine and studying, so if you're not into cooking, that's completely fine. Another class I definitely recommend you guys watch is by my mate Ali Abdal, who made a class on how to study for exams, which I highly recommend you guys check out if you want to better the way that you revise for your exams. If you want to check out Skillshare for yourself, then the first 1,000 people who click on the link down below will get a free trial of Skillshare, and I definitely recommend you at least sign up for the free trial, learn a new skill, and if you do decide you like Skillshare, then the actual membership is less than $10 a month on the yearly subscription, which for me is so worth it, and I hope you guys benefit from it as well. But back to the rest of the video. Right guys, so as you just saw, all of the food is finally cooked. It's been around 3 hours in the slow cooker. I managed to get a bunch of work done while I was actually cooking, and now it's time for the final step of meal prep, which is actually storing the food in containers. So as you guys can see, I have just normal Tupperware containers over here, which are really, really cheap. You can get it in any sort of supermarkets. I essentially store my food in 2 ways. The first is in the fridge, and the second is in the freezer. In the fridge, I normally store around 2 or 3 meals immediately in the fridge. Then that's going to be the food that I eat over the next kind of 1 to 2 days. And then after that, the rest of my meals I want to be storing in the freezer. In regards to the food that I store in the freezer, I normally put them in smaller containers and normally store them in serving sizes of 2. So each Tupperware essentially will have 2 meals. The reason why I store it in 2 meal sizes is that I find that if I use like a huge Tupperware and freeze all of my food there, that kind of beats the purpose because I'll have to defrost all of it at once. But if I end up storing it in meal sizes of 2, I can slowly defrost them whenever I need to. Meal sizes of 2 is really nice because 2 is normally a day's worth of food, being lunch and dinner as well. So rather than freezing it all in one huge container, divide it up into 2 meal sizes, pizzas per Tupperware container. So that's the plan. I'm going to spend around 5 or 10 minutes packaging all the food separately, also plating out my food today for dinner. And as I said, this is the last step. Putting all of this stuff in the freezer will then mean that I have meals stored for at least the next rest of the week. A really good tip is if you guys don't want to eat the same meals over and over again like I will, I honestly don't mind. Food for me is kind of just fuel and is what I need to just get by my day and be efficient. On the weekends, obviously when I have more time, I do cook normally and cook fresh batches of food, but during the week this is what I normally have. But if you do want to kind of mix it up, the good thing about the slow cooker is that it takes just as much time to make 10 meals as it does to make one meal. So in 2 days from now, maybe if you want to cook again, you can go ahead and use a slow cooker to make a completely different meal, use the exact same process, and then you'll have kind of 2 different types of meals that you can eat back to back, and you can alternate between these 2 meals. I normally just stick with 1 meal, but sometimes I do create 2 different types of meals on different days, freeze all of them separately, and then I have 2 meals that I can alternate between, which is another really good tip to have. So I'm gonna go ahead and package all of this stuff in Tupperware. I'll see you guys in a second. One thing I also forgot to mention is that before you actually put all of your food in the freezer, make sure that you do let it cool down first beforehand to make sure that you don't get sick. Make sure it's all cooled down, and once it is cooled down, then go ahead and put it in your freezer. Once it's frozen and you do want to eat it, you have kind of 2 methods to defrost it. The first is to put it in the microwave and allow it to defrost in around a couple of minutes. The last way of defrosting it is also just to put it in the fridge the night before you want to eat it, and it'll naturally defrost overnight as well. The rice I've only made for actually 2 days, by the way, guys. I do prefer having freshly cooked rice, so the rice here is only going to be eaten maybe today or tomorrow as well. It's not good to keep rice for a very long time, so all of that normally is made fresh as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. This is my whole process from start to finish of meal prepping for the entire week. I hope you guys have learned something from it. I hope it makes you guys more effective and more productive in your day-to-day lives. If you have any questions about what I've said or done, please leave a comment down below, and also any suggestions of any videos you want to see in the future. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.